Okay, all right, we're back. You there, Todd?
I am. Hi.
Okay, very good. These, I'm trying to do a profile here, and this is quite an extremely wide-ranging series of events in your life, and what, I don't know, Brian, we have multidimensional issues here potentially. We have the strange scenario of him being abducted for a reason. There was a reason. He had value. He had value to them for something. And then there is an encounter, let's see, in which he obviously was damaged physically. Different group of people, different intelligence. Don't know. Did you have any, one note I had written here, did you have any sense that you had any chunk of missing time during that fishing outing on the boat?
You know, I had thought about it, but there was really nothing that it could support anything because I had no watch on. I had no way to tell if there was actually any time difference or anything, any missing time or anything, so I can't say anything for sure.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, this is pretty wild. The disc itself, did it have any kind of marks on it, or was it just that unpolished silver from side to side, the whole thing?
No, there was no markings on it at all.
All right. And I had a question going back to the the rectangle you saw early on. Were there any lights on that in the night sky, or was it just black, the whole thing? No lights.
It was entirely black. But from the silhouette that I could see it, I mean, I could distinguish where the front of it was, where it actually went up to the top part of the craft. I mean, that's how obvious it was. It wasn't just total blackness, but there was a silhouette of everything.
Got it. Okay, all right, pretty wild. And your friends, let me guess, your friends never talked about that disc, did they?
No.
Do you still see your friends?
Yep, I do. And
Good.
actually, one of them has had numerous sightings with me and on his own since then, so I'm certainly not alone anymore.
Well, with that, Todd, because that's interesting right there, too. Are these encounters he has had, that when you're talking about it, is this what started, say, before you knew him, or while he knew you and you guys were together?
Well, from what I understand, it's happened since we knew each other, since I was hanging out with him, since I got back.
There you go. That's weird, eh? Yeah. So he got aboard or got onto this here. Unreal. That's weird.
Actually, there's a few of my close friends. The same sort of thing has happened as well since.
Would that have been those guys in the boat? Did they have any kind of experiences afterwards that you're aware of, or is it maybe some of them?
Just one fellow off the boat, and he's seen numerous crafts with me, or objects, and he's also seen things on his own as well, but not nearly as close as I have.
Well, at least you got some guys you can talk to over this without them thinking you're crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I have some very, very, very understanding friends that are very supportive, and makes life so much easier. It does. Awesome.
That's good. And you know what? You know what's really weird, Jeff? Do you remember a case there? Because was as Todd explains what's going on here in this report. So many things flash back. Man, we had a guest on there on your show, and him and his girlfriend, they came back to his mother's and dad's place, but they stayed in the guest house and they had their experience. And I remember when they were coming out, because he carried her girlfriend from the guest house to the main house, and he got to the glass door. He wondered why they let the cat out. The cat wasn't supposed to be out. But when he watched the cat, it wasn't moving. Just like Todd was mentioning, it was kind of like frozen in time. It was, that just bounced in my head. I couldn't believe what he was talking about, because there's some really interesting things that you connect with other reports. It's fascinating, really. Although, it can be kind of frightening and scary, and to go through this, of course.
Now, your friends, Todd, have had experiences as well. Do you even dare connect those to your life experiences in any way? Because they were your friends, might they have come under this umbrella of being interacted with?
Actually, that's pretty much the way my mind is thinking about it simply because throughout their lifetimes they had never seen anything until I started to have my close encounters, and sharing my experiences with them and talking to them about it perhaps helped them to maybe be more perceptive and notice things more, instead of, how most people look down or look straight ahead. Hardly ever do we ever look up. So, I mean, perhaps that might be a factor to it. But I think it might be more than that, because it was just a few years ago, my father, he had a fairly close encounter, too, with a craft that was only about 25 feet off of the ground. And he had never seen anything in his 70 years of life up until that point, too. So I do strongly feel that there might be some sort of a connection there. I can't say for sure, though.
Well, anybody wanting to hang out with Todd for a while might have some interesting experiences then.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, very good. Go ahead. This is really quite a wide-ranging, as I said, panorama of events and experiences, and I suspect there are quite a few more. Go on, Todd.
Okay. Now, it was after the silver disc craft, I pretty much spent the winter in Brandon and stayed away from the lake. And later on in the springtime, my best friend and I went back up to the region, and we found an old Ukrainian log homestead that we decided we were going to take down and resurrect over at the lake.
So, neat. All right, hold on, please, Todd. We have to take a break again. We'll come right back and pick up the story. What kind of a log home was this again?
It's a 100-year-old, 1900 old Ukrainian log homestead from the Ukrainian settlers when they first came.
Very interesting. All right. Back in just a couple minutes. Okay, and we're back talking with Todd. Brian, Vike, and I, we want to invite you to Sightings.com. It's back up and running and looking great, thanks to James and Andy and Brian's work. And it is 24 hours a day. The latest UFO ET news from around the world. All right, Todd, please go ahead.
Okay, we're skipping ahead to the spring after my encounter with a disc in the August before that. I had finally gotten over some of my illness. My hair stopped falling out. My teeth weren't becoming any more loose. And I was feeling a bit more better, more healthier. I didn't have that sickening feeling that I had. My buddy and I went up to the Parkland region. As I said, we found an old Ukrainian log homestead that we fell in love with, and we thought it would look wonderful up at the lake. So we decided to take it down and move it log by log and resurrect it back at the lake. So that's how we spent most of our time doing that. I always had the silver disc in my mind all the time while I was at the lake because, well, I had to be more aware of things around there for some reason. I just couldn't put myself at total ease when I was working there. But we continued on that for 3 years. I never saw anything more, and I became more at ease. I became more relaxed. I really enjoy the lake. It's a very tranquil place. On our part of the lake, there's no electricity. There's very few people around. There's farmers on the outskirts and wildlife throughout the entire area, from bobcats and lynx to cougar and bears. So it's very diverse in wildlife out there. 3 years had passed, and I found myself at the lake enjoying the clear nights and the calm nights. The water was always calm like a sheet of glass. It was very peaceful, just very tranquil, great for the soul. And I'd spend my